The boys in blue are putting the pressure on GNCC champion Chris Borich at our last race in Georgia. And all that pressure paid off as Taylor Kaiser emerged with the victory to take the challenge to the champ. The question is, will Borich fight back or can Yamaha reign again?
Playing in the dirt, face full of mud, sacrificing flesh and blood. Playing in the dirt, digging in the ground. All I'm asking you, where you gonna be when it all goes down, 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 down.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Racer TV and the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series. Jason Wygant here, your host. We are at the beautiful Steele Creek Campground in Morganton, North Carolina for round 3 of our tour. Great amateur racing under our belt with the youth riders as well this morning. And that has cleared the way for our 1 p.m. pro class. Fans have already gathered down on the starting line to watch the best ATV riders in the world have at it. Chris Borich and Taylor Kaiser have won the first 2 rounds of the series. Will we see a third winner? Let's find out.
Second, and round number 1, the XC1 Pro Class will be off and rolling at our FMF Steele Creek GNCC.
Here's the drag race into turn 1. It's one of the Yamahas out front again. Don Ackerman going for 2 straight hole shots. No, it's going to be Bill Balance. Old Bill, the 9-time GNCC champion. Great to see him out front. He's got the $250 from MotorcycleUSA.com with today's hole shot. Hard to get used to Balance on the number 4, but it makes a little more sense when you see him in his old position. That is out front and hauling early on. Ackerman in the number 2 spot on the GT Thunder Yamaha. Here comes the cavalry. Sloan Jackson, privateer to Indiana in 3rd. You got Kaiser, Brian Cook, and that's Borich on the yellow machine next. And here comes the next pack. If you're back in this group, you're going to have to work hard to make passes. Adam McGill just flashed by. Look for him to work his way to the front. And there's Jared McClure and Chris Bithell coming through next. But how about this guy, Bill Balance, getting in the time machine and setting it back to 2008 when he last won this championship. He is checked out. Nice job by Jackson here out of Indiana, holding off the big hitters, Cook, Borich, and Kaiser. Balance has already extended the lead. Great to see. Bill had a lot of trouble last year with injuries. In fact, actually started the year off with cancer in his ribs and was definitely off the pace early in the season. He is on it, though, here in 2010. That shows just how tough these guys are. Borich, meanwhile, the number 1, he's got a lot of work to do to move forward. Same thing there with McGill at number 3, who's even further back. This is not fast forward, folks. This is the real speed that Bill Balance has out of the box right now on the factory Yamaha. He is gone. Ackerman doing everything he can to try to keep Balance in sight. And you see, because he's pushing so hard, he's built up a little gap right now. Kaiser up to 3rd. Let's see if Jackson is able to maintain the pace. So far, so good. He is in 4th. Then Brian Cook, a North Carolina native on the KTM, is 5th, and Borich in 6th. Not a good start for Borich, but not really cause for panic either. He has come from much further back than that to win these races. The rest of the field comes through. This is Brandon Summers on the 784. Summers is actually suffering from mono, so he's definitely down on energy. That's tough in a 2-hour race. Then Bithell on the lucky number 13 comes through next. Man, is this a great sight to see or what? Balance, certainly not his customary number on the number 4, but in a customary position in the lead and under the legendary Steele Creek Bridge. You see the fans have already begun to gather there, and they'll get, we'll have more fans there as the race goes on. A lot of them just still migrating from the starting line area over to the bridge. Looks like Kaiser has gotten around Ackerman. That's 2nd and 3rd swapping about, and there is Cook ahead of Borich, and they have put Jackson behind them. And at least Jackson gets a little lesson here on the true pace out front and how hard these guys go early, and that's the only way to learn. Here's a buddy, Johnny Gallagher, Johnny G, in front of McGill. McGill wants to make passes and make them quickly. Then you've got Jeff Pickens and Chris Bithell right there. All 4 of those guys, they've really got to step up. Cannot let this lead pack get away, although the lead pack is 1 man right now. A 1-man gang. Bill Balance, gone. And that is awesome to see. A lot of people did not think Balance would come back to racing this year. He had said 09 would be his last season. He and this man, Taylor Kaiser, have put a training program together. They push each other and test throughout the week, and it's paying off as they're 1-2 right now ahead of Ackerman, Cook, and Boric. And no doubt that number 1 plate on Boric's quad, that is the goal for Balance and Kaiser, to get that plate back under the blue tent. And I don't know if they care which one does it. They just want to give that championship back to Yamaha. They're looking great right now early on. Here's Cook, who was a privateer last year. He picked up McGill's ride on KTM. Looks to be improving week in and week out on the orange machine. And Ackerman has gone to the back of this train. Not because Ackerman's not a great rider, but you get those starts. These guys absolutely haul the mail on this first lap. And look, now Kaiser has caught Balance. So we get a battle for the lead, a friendly battle between the two teammates. And you know why they're pushing so hard. Boric just moved up to 3rd, and they want to beat this man badly. Let's see if Cook can stay with this lead trio when we come back. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Yamaha. Well, no doubt this race brought to you by Yamaha. They are dominating the show right now. The YFC 450X tandem of Balance and McGill in the lead. Chris Boric up to 3rd on the Suzuki. 4th is Cook on the KTM. And you know the Can-Am duo of McGill and Bittel are going to be pushing forward. Here they are. Bad starts, but McGill just flat putting it down in that corner. And let's see what Bittel can do. Bittel was up front all day, leading a lot in Georgia, and then ran into some bad luck down the stretch, but he never gets the starts, man. And that's really hurt him on a track like this. A little bit tighter than it is in Georgia, not as many lines. Boric in 3rd, and nice job by Cook here to stay with him. Cook is not intimidated by these riders. He won this race last year. He knows he can do it. He's got the confidence, and he can see it. McGill, he might be the fastest rider out of this whole group. He has closed the gap. Here comes Bittel. Man, we could have 6 or 7 riders dueling for the lead. If you're if you're Balance and Kaiser up front, and that's the order actually, Kaiser has taken the lead over Balance. You've got to keep your head down and charging, because all these guys are pushing the envelope right now. Boric, Cook, McGill, Bittel. Such a fun track to watch. It's actually one of our camera guys that got in between them there right now on the bike. Back to our lead, and looks like Boric has caught up, and it's a long race out here. It's kind of like watching an NBA game. You know, everyone's going to have a run in them at one point. Just how long can they sustain that? Boric's moved forward. Cook's lost a little bit of ground. McGill has caught Cook. This is exciting racing to watch, and what a great racetrack. Everybody loves coming and racing out here at Steele Creek. It's a rough track. It's definitely going to push these guys as far as physical fitness goes. Our first 2 rounds in Florida and Georgia, not a lot of elevation change. The ups and downs, that's what these riders are used to. And you can see they're all responding and riding well today. We'll be right back, but now it's time for our Rocky Mountain Spotlight.
Hi, I'm BJ Noggle. I race Junior B class in the GNCC series, and this week's Rocky Mountain ATV product spotlight will be the G-Force fully adjustable axle. The G-Force adjustable width racing axle retails for $199.99. It is a high-performance racing axle, giving you the choice of increasing the width, forged from special chromoly hardened steel with a chrome plating finish. It's available for most sport ATVs and has a lifetime warranty against bending or breaking. The G-Force axle nut wrench retails for $11.99. ATV axle wrenches are made to fit your large OEM stock axle nut and G-Force axle nut. Made from hardened steel with laser-etched logo and size. Compact design for easy storage, will work with both 3/8 and 1/2 inch ratchets for extra leverage. It is a must-have for ATV owners, and it's also available for most sport ATVs. For more information on the G-Force adjustable axle, check out RockyMountainATVMC.com.
Nice job, BJ Noggle. Nice job, Taylor Kaiser in the lead and actually pulling away just a smidge from his training partner, his teammate, Bill Balance. And they've got the guy that they're gunning for behind them, Chris Boric. So this is the opportunity the Yamaha boys wanted this year, the chance to take the fight to Boric, and they have that chance today. And McGill has moved up to 4th. There's no doubt he has the pace. If he can just get a glimpse of those top 3 in front, that's a big difference. He might be able to go run them down. And Cook, lots of fans cheering for him. He's out of Kezar, North Carolina, local to this facility. Here comes Bithell, the Pennsylvania kid, trying to run him down. So Kaiser, who won the last race in Georgia, is going to try to turn the trick again here today. Borge like the darn shark in the water. As long as he is somewhere out there, you've got to fear him. But I'd say McGill is the man on the roll right now. He has closed the gap. Every time we get in touch with these guys, he's a little bit closer. And I think Cook and maybe Bithell have dropped off the pace, and that is what happens in GNCC racing. It's just a race all day long to try to stay in the hunt, stay in contention, hang around, and then on the last lap, then we really get to see what these guys have. And it might have turned into a 4-rider duel right now, and not really a surprise. Look at the numbers on the machines. These guys were 1 through 4 in this series last year. Kaiser was the championship runner-up. He wants to move up to the #1 spot this year. Balance was number 4. He wants to get his 10th GNCC title. That's the guy they're all going for, Borge. And I think Borge is running a nice, relaxed pace right now. That might be the ultimate difference between these guys. Borge can go this fast, and it seems like he's riding at 95%. And when he needs just a little extra on the last lap, he seems to have it. And you've got to think that Kaiser and Balance are aware of that. They know they're in the lead. Here we go into the pits. But they know that as long as Boric is there, nothing is assured. Let's see who can get in and out of the pits more quickly. Gas stop, new goggles, and the Yamaha boys go in 1-2 and leave 1-2. Wait a minute. A bit of a long stop here in the Boric pit. Got to get rolling, boys. Here comes McGill. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain, and by Yamaha. Well, yet another X factor of Grand National Cross Country Racing about to rear its ugly head, and that is traffic. These 4 riders are on the move. Adam McGill in 4th, pushing Boric in 3rd, Balance in 2nd, Kaiser in the lead. But now they're getting into riders from other classes. They're racing amongst themselves for their class victories. They're amateur riders, so they're great in their own way, but these are the riders that ride and test and train full-time. They don't get tired, they just get faster. So see, these guys are going to have to get out of their way, and it is definitely tightening things up. Throw a blanket practically over this top 4 right now, and McGill, from how far back he has come, let's see if he can keep that going. There's his teammate Bithell, who's gotten to 5th, ahead of Cook. Down on the brakes, down through the gearbox on these downhills, like we said. The elevation change is back this week. McGill is right there. He is on the rear tires of Boric. How much speed does he have in the tank today? Does he have spots picked out to make passes? There is Cook in 5th. Under the Steele Creek Bridge we go. And the riders, I'll tell you, this is a tough track to make passes on. Although Balance found a new line there and almost tangled with someone on the side of the track. And McGill has moved up to 3rd. So we thought McGill had the speed, and he does. And where's Borge? There he is. He's back to 4th. I'd say the only question left, how much energy did McGill burn catching those guys? Does he have enough to go all the way down to the last lap strong? We'll find out soon. But now it's time for highlights of our morning race. It's where the big boys play the utility classes race in the morning. We started off with the limited division. Quiet exhaust systems on those machines. Michael Swift grabbing the lead. Ken Roby, Scott Kilby also in there. Women's class into the first turn. Angel Atwell, defending class champ, grabs the lead. That class is ultra competitive. It will be fun to watch. We got the open division. And a nice line there on the inside. Rick Checo going to take the early lead in 4x4 open. And that's what's so fun about watching this morning race. Variety of equipment, variety of ages, and yes, gender, as we see the classic Atwell-Checo battle in the women's class out front, and they will duke it out for the overall. Here's Zach Sikowski leading the open 4x4 class. Rick Checo and Brian Buchanan right behind. These guys are really fast on those big machines. But a new contender for the morning race overalls, this guy on the left side, Dave Simmons, just turned 50, and that means he's eligible to race in the morning class in the super senior division. He's going to be hard to stop this year. The limited class hits the creek. Kilby out front. Ken Roby in the hunt. And those are basically showroom stock 4x4 machines. They take some of the weight off of them with racks and such. But that's about it. Here's Checo out front in the women's class, looking for her first victory of the season. But here comes the comp. Atwell, the other Atwell, that's her niece, and also Lexi Coulter out of Texas in fourth. That's how close this women's class is. Checkered flag, Checo's in the lead. Coulter right behind her, bumping wheels. They almost tangle. Tracy Checo takes the win. Lexi Coulter in second. And that man, Dave Simmons, happy birthday. The new 50-year-old wins the overall in the morning. It's going to be more great racing all season long. Back to our leaders. No change in the order. It's still Kaiser, Balance, McGill, and Boric. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Brian Cook in fifth, so still no change in that top five. I think we've reached the portion of the race where everyone's going to feel each other out, wait for the strategy to kick in, and then the last lap, it is going to be an all-out rush. Kaiser knows it, Balance knows it. They've won enough of these things to know that with McGill and Boric back there in third and fourth, nothing is won. You could flip a coin, or 2 coins, I guess, because we have 4 guys out here. I don't know who's going to come out on top of this one. Kaiser trying to make a little push here and get away from Balance. Nice line by McGill, and Boric going to follow him up on the inside. As his track gets rougher, if you can find some fresh dirt that's not as beat up, it'll make a big difference. There's Cook still sticking to the outside there in fifth. These guys have turned some of these rises into kind of natural double jumps. And Boric has learned a lot, I think, from McGill. Boric made the right move. McGill caught him. I think Boric is content to just follow McGill, figure out the lines that he used to go so fast. And he might just use those lines against him later. Or maybe not. The top 3 have now pulled away as they go through pit road. Crews, fans, family cheering. Boric going to need to pick it up to catch those 3. Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain, and by Yamaha. Action picking up here late in the race. Look at the Yamaha boys scrambling, cutting the inside. Nice job. Balance just gets to the top. Here's the competition. McGill and Boric went wide. The big difference, they had 2 other riders stuck between them. So here's your opportunity, if you're Kaiser and Balance, to get away. Didn't work. McGill and Boric are right there. Just trying to find lines, trying to find ways to make passes. Now it's time for desperation tactics. And we saw it. We saw both Kaiser and Balance use the uphill. They barely made it to the top. But you've got to push the envelope late in the race like this. Also, who has the fitness? And we were wondering about McGill. How much energy did he burn early? Well, here we go. Boric has moved to third, and I don't see McGill anywhere. So maybe the pace finally caught up to McGill. Are we down to 3 riders battling? Oh, and Boric just made the pass on Balance. And how many times in the last year have we seen Boric do this? He just sits back there and waits. That is Cook, I believe, in fourth. So I'm not sure what has happened to McGill altogether. And Boric is now in the lead. It's like clockwork every time. He's just cruising back there, and then late in the game, he turns it up. Here's the opportunity. Can Balance, can Kaiser get him back? And Kaiser wants it. He's right behind him, and he's got his pit crew cheering. Into the field we go. We've seen a lot of times this race at Steele Creek come down to guys going inside and outside each other in these fields. No, Boric able to maintain the lead as they go back into the woods. And Balance is right there, too. If those 2 tangle, Balance could take a win. Time is running out, and desperate, here we go, here's the uphill, and the Yamahas make it to the top, but they could not make the pass. That was the same line we saw the previous lap. It almost paid off, but Boric able to maintain in the number 1 spot. Does Kaiser have anything else left? Oh, they just go onto this fire road. They are wide open all the way at the top of the gearbox, 5th gear there. And yes, snaking through the trees at that speed, bikes bouncing around underneath them. This is the best of the best that you're watching right here. And it's right in front of them. They can beat Borge today, but they've got to make a pass in the last lap. Kaiser trying different lines. This could be it. Kaiser on the outside. Borge able to beat him to the point. And Balance still back there in third watching. What great racing here at Steele Creek. Borge got a ride with eyes at the back of its head right now. But how do you do it? You're hearing these guys revving the engines. You're hearing the crowd cheering. He's been able to stay cool, calm, and collected down the stretch time and time again. Can he pull the trick here at Steele Creek, or does Kaiser have yet another line picked out? Oh, these guys, I know that the guy in front of them is on a yellow machine, but they are seeing red. They do not want Borge to get them like this. Not when they led all the laps today. But it's not going to happen. Checkered flag coming out. Chris Borge is going to win at Steele Creek. Kaiser and Balance right there. What a race. Let's go to victory lane.
We got a decent start. We were probably top 5 there, and this track is just one of the roughest, hardest tracks to pass on. It's just basically like a single line track the whole way, so you got to be real smart, pick lines, and if somebody would make a mistake, you'd capitalize on it. So a couple times they made a little bit of a mistake, and I capitalized, and here we are.
Man, these ATV races this year have been something special. Cook is in 4th, and McGill outside of the top 10. Not sure what happened there. He'll have his chance to win races, though. Here's the upcoming events in the Can-Am GNCC Tour. Bring your machine out. Come race with us. Give you your Yamaha race recap, and it was all Yamahas up front. Bill Balance, Don Ackerman battling for the early lead. Balance would secure that position and then put the hammer down and check out early. And then he had some company with his training partner, Taylor Kaiser. They wanted to make it a 1-2 YFZ 450X show. But Borich and Adam McGill, they weren't going to have it. The Suzuki man, the Can-Am man, they caught up, and it was a spectacular 4-rider duel down the stretch. Then we lost McGill from that group. Borich able to take the lead in the last lap. Kaiser and Balance never gave up. They kept the heat on all the way down to the checkered flag. But even though they had lines picked out to make passes, they just couldn't find the room. And when the checkers were waving, Borich had his second win of the season. Great racing. Thanks for watching on Racer TV.